Goldson here. I'd like to share with you guys how, when I got started in the electronic resale business, how I dealt with the uncertainty and the fear and the nervousness that I had. I remember before I posted my first ad, going to the platform and seeing all these other competitors in my area that had ads, and a lot of ads, and thinking, how can I compete with these guys? Why would someone sell me an item when they could sell it to them? And why, on God's green earth, would someone sell me an item to begin with when they could just sell it on eBay themselves and make another 50, 100, 150 bucks? It made no sense to me. But I just decided to trust the process and take the actions that I was told to take, that I was told would make me successful. And the first 1, 2, 3-ish months that I would go do meetups. So this means I would start to have, I'd post the ads, and I'd start to have people message me. Now, this was back in the day. We don't post ads anymore. We just do paid ads. But this was, I would start to communicate with customers, and someone would accept the offer. And what I would do is I would be so nervous driving to the meetup, in the car, both my hands would be on the steering wheel, and I would be shaking like this going to the meetup. For this was two things. One, I had a lot of fear that it was too good to be true. Because I was making $11 an hour in my job at the time, and I hated it. I hated dealing with these dumb, entitled customers at my job. So if I'm gonna make $80 on a meetup, picking up an electronic for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes of work, which is really just driving, waiting, hanging out with the customer and going home, it would take me 8 hours to make that in my job. I had a lot of fear that, okay, this is too good to be true. The customer's not going to show up. There's going to be an issue with the item. So I had a lot of those fears that I believe was one of the reasons I was nervous. The other fear, or the other reason I was kind of nervous, was the excitement. It wasn't really nervousness. It was just excitement. If this works, in 30 minutes, I made what would take me 8 hours at my job. This would be fantastic. And a lot of times, by the way, I would just trust the process and go to those meetups, the ones that I thought were too good to be true. And a lot of times, customers showed up on time, the item was exactly what it was, and I made great money. And I was able to prove to myself by taking action, regardless of how I felt, that this business works. Anyway, in the beginning, I would be so nervous, I would shake in the car. So I'd be shaking in the car. In the first 1 to 2 months-ish, I would be so nervous that my body would literally have like a physiological effect, or whatever the fancy words to say is, and I would cause myself to have diarrhea. Okay, now don't tell anyone this, but I would literally go to the meetup 5 to 10 minutes before, because I'd be so nervous in the car. I would I'm forcing my body to have diarrhea from all the nervousness. So I'd have to get there, go to the bathroom, take care of business, and then I'd go meet up with the customer. I had a student that I trained in my old program. Now, I don't have my program. I'm a coach in Chris's program. But in my old program, this guy, he was so nervous the first 3 meetups he did to buy electronics, he threw up all 3 times. But he kept trusting the process. I kept coaching him and working with him on the group chats. And in about 3-4 months after he bought the program, he was making about $1,000 a week in profit. Some weeks he was making more. He was so happy, and it was like he just felt so good that he had this fear. It's almost like he grew as a human, but also he made great money as well, which was fantastic. I think a lot of people, they see people winning in this business, and they think, oh, these people, they don't have anything they worry about. They don't have any fears. They don't have all this uncertainty and all these worries. And what those people don't understand is that the people that are successful in this business have all those fears. They have those same concerns and worries. They just don't let that stop them from moving forward and taking the actions that have the potential to get them the result that they want. So what I found that worked really good for me in this business was, even though I was nervous, even though I had all these fears, even though I had all this uncertainty, I just trusted the process, had faith, and kept taking action regardless. And the best thing is, just from sheer action and sheer volume, a lot of those fears and nervousness I've had have either gone away or been reduced by like 98%. I mean, almost all the time when I go to a meetup, I'm pretty calm. Sometimes I'll have a little bit of that excitement still, but it's like 98% pretty much gone. So that's how I handled the uncertainty and the nervousness when I got started in this business, and what I did to overcome it.